Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and we are back for another episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And this is season, let me double check one more time on the one time. Season 14, episode 9 is called Beachy King. And before I go any further into this, I'm going to just address the elephant in the room. Yes, I'm not on video because I am now watching The Real Housewives of New York City at the same time. Reunion. So it's a back to back to back to back reviews. And I kind of mentioned before, when we get to that, we're just not going to do that. So anyway, but that's not why we're here. We're here for Beverly Hills, and it was a very, very cute episode overall. And polar opposite of this reunion. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the episode. Okay, so we start the episode with Kyle, and she is talking to her daughter Portia, and basically she's still just kind of whining about being an empty nester for the most part. Because Portia now has a car and she hangs out with Sophia because, she's 16, so she can't drive by herself yet. And the sisters and her, all the sisters and all of like Portia and all her sisters, they basically meet up all the time, just kind of. And according to Kyle, she thinks that they're meeting, talking about what's going on when it comes to her and Mo, which very well could possibly be the case. Shortly after this, though, I don't remember if Erica FaceTime her, if she FaceTime Erica, but Erica basically just says here, like, hey, I'm bowing out of what's going on between you and Dorit. I want you guys to fix it. And really, it is between you two, and you two need to talk about it and stop getting the board of directors involved in it, which I do agree. I think Erica does have a point here, that if they are going to establish a friendship and resolve it, they just need to talk to it and stop including others in it because it's not really helping. But at the same time, it would be nice if Kyle took some accountability. And later on, we will be slightly surprised because it seems like, we'll see what happens here. But after that, they kind of talk it over, and then we switch gears. After that, we do end up seeing Dorit. She's meeting up with Bose, and they go out to like lunch, and they're having a good time. They're both looking fashionable. They look amazing. And I kind of do high key love that them two are their friendships budding and how they're really, really getting along. And yeah, I do like this. And so then we talk about, so basically, Dorit actually wanted to talk about Bose first, but then Bo's like, no, let's talk about you instead. And they kind of just recap what ended up happening the episode before, basically. And so besides talking about sorry about that. Besides talking about what transpired, I'm trying to think what else was mentioned as far as that's concerned. I think it really was just talking about what happened with Kyle and everything. There wasn't really much to this scene, but yeah, so really, Dorit and Bose are getting along really well, and it's really, really nice to see. We love to see it. So that's all that kind of happens here. Then in the next scene, we have Garcelle and Sutton, and they, Garcelle is at her beach house, and we find out she is kind of throwing a housewarming party with the ladies. So all the ladies are going to check out the beach house for the first time. And then she FaceTimes Sutton. And we find out that Kyle wants to meet up with not all the ladies, but her, them two, and Erica prior to all the women showing up for this beach house thing. And Garcelle and Sutton are both kind of on the side of, okay, she's trying to get some allies here. And Sutton is standing on business big time. And before we continue on with the review, if you've noticed the past couple of episodes and even the mid-season trailer, if you will, it is very clear to me that Sutton is the villain of this season. Kyle almost always is, but we're kind of getting sick of her. I mean, that's just what it is with her. But Sutton is definitely next, I feel like, when it comes to a lot of what's going on with the conflict. But anyway, so fast forward, we then have Kyle at the restaurant, and Garcelle joins her first. And Kyle is basically just kind of like venting about her exit and how she did things, and she's just kind of like, um, really just trying to clear the air and kind of just saying how overwhelmed she was, and that's why she just ended up leaving. Garcelle is just kind of being a listening ear. She's not really judging her too much. Then Erica shows up, and then Sutton shows up, and Sutton is standing big on business. And she basically just straight up asks, like, why are we here? And everyone's just like, okay. And so as she's asking why we're here, Kyle actually attempts to apologize, and I think she actually was genuinely apologizing for the first time, like, ever. Because I've never seen her really take accountability and really, really apologize. And so she was trying to apologize. And Sutton, though, because she wasn't being really specific about the apology all the way, she was still talking in the way Kyle talks in her riddles. Sutton's like, what are you apologizing for? And they kind of go into detail about that from here. Yeah, so Sutton just kept making sure Kyle literally spelled out exactly what she was apologizing, almost to the point where it was almost too much. Like, if it was, okay, I'll just say this. If it was anyone else other than Kyle, I feel like the way Sutton was behaving when it came to this was too much. And even for the degree of how much she was drilling it home, it was too much. Even Garcelle was like, okay, I think she's really trying to clear the air actually for once. Like, she didn't say it like that, but I feel like that's what, that was what Garcelle was getting out of it. And Garcelle's like, I think she was using us because we're more likely to forgive her first before anyone else. So really, Garcelle's still kind of playing the middle a little bit, but cautiously playing the middle. And Sutton's not buying it. She's like, you know what? This is a bunch of crap. Like, yes, she's apologizing, but like, she really is just looking for allies, and that's what it is. And of course, Erica was on the side of like, okay, like this, it's enough. It's enough. Like, why are we doing this? But initially, when Sutton was asking the questions, we saw Garcelle's reaction. She was cracking up. And even Erica kind of had a smirk on her face because they know Kyle. They know Kyle does not apologize. So this was kind of a thing. And so, and also too, even though Erica on paper said she was okay with how Kyle handled things, I feel like everyone kind of felt away. And so Sutton does drill the point home when she's like, look, I just want, everyone, I want, what you expect out of us, I want you to do that in return. And that was kind of honestly the theme of the whole entire episode. And maybe this is maybe just me being willfully overly optimistic. Maybe Kyle finally gets it because it's the first time where, and they also kind of get on her like, hey, you cannot run away every time you are in the hot seat. That's just not how that works. Just like you gave me a hard time about being in the hot seat. Erica's been in the hot seat. You just cannot do that. And so anyway, then basically we fast forward to the next event. And Garcelle is at her beach house and she's getting ready to have the ladies over. And while this is happening, we see that all the other ladies are meeting at Kyle's place one by one to head over to her place because it appears that it is going to take some time to get we know it takes a while to get to Kyle's place. So that's kind of the other thing that's happening. I mean, not Kyle's place, but to Garcelle's place. So there's that. So when Bo shows up at Kyle, she is immediately annoyed. She's like, okay, I'm here, and she didn't even apologizing from storming out of my home and, basically causing a scene and doing all that, which I agree with Bose. Like, that was kind of messed up and very disrespectful. I did not see her apologize to Bose or really the other women outside of, like, the women she apologized to before. So that was kind of messed up. But they dropped that. And then from there, Once Dorit gets there, she actually talks about how Jagger, her son, is now asking about her and PK and if they're getting a divorce. And basically, all the women are feeling for her. Even Kyle. Kyle's just like, oh no. Like, everyone is just like, oh no. And we find out, according to Dorit, he found out because he saw the IG post that they made. And so social media gave it away. And then even Erica's like, yeah, I mean, she was not going to be able to hide it forever, which, everyone was pretty much aware of that. And then out of nowhere, Sutton basically interrupts the conversation, and she's like, yeah, we're running late, so we need to get going. And just kind of very disrespectful and rude. And everyone's just kind of taken aback. And girl, sudden, and basically everyone was like, yeah, it does take some time to get there, but her timing. And I noticed that Kyle kind of gave Sutton a little bit of grace about her timing and how it just is messed up at times because she's just being in her own world. But still, it's like, Sutton, what is wrong with you? Honestly, at this point, I'm coming up with a conclusion, and Sutton needs to go see the lady. In the words of the Brooke Ashley, she needs to go see the lady because clearly, any type of divorce talk, she is very, very triggered by. And at this point, the Beverly Hills Ladies is the divorce club. We might as well just rename this franchise the Divorce Club because everyone in this group is divorced. It's wild to me. But anyway, so then from there, they do head out to Garcelle's. And fast forward, they're all arrived. They love her house. Kyle speaks highly of her in her confessional about how she loves that she got this together, was able to get this done, which was really, really cool. And I agree. Like, it's awesome that she was able to do these things. And then from there, because she basically got this house on her own, she worked hard to get that. And then after that, Garcelle has these pajama outfits for the ladies so that they can go to the beach. That way they don't have to worry about their clothes getting messed up or anything like that. Dorit does kind of shade her in the confessional because you know how Dorit, she works a long time to get a certain look, and she really is like kind of a control freak when it comes to that. But then she says, you know what, I am going to be a good sport. Let's go. And honestly, the pajamas were all cute. And then we see that Jennifer Tilly does provide Garcelle a gift, and it is I think it was no, it was a Dolce & Gabbana toaster, and it literally matched Garcelle's pajamas. I don't know how she pulled that off, but it was matching her pajamas she was wearing, and that was kind of crazy. And in the confessional, Erica is basically salivating over all of Jennifer Tilly's things. But basically, the ladies are all changed. Sun is wearing her pants way too high. It's like, girl. But anyway, they all do head to the gym in a golf cart. And yeah, so once they get there, then they kind of just go ahead and get their drinks and all that. She has like a whole entire setup ready to go. And there we kind of get to the business. So then from there, immediately after everyone goes to get their drinks, Dorit does go to Kyle. Well, no, Kyle actually goes to Dorit. It's like, hey, can we talk? And they finally iron it out. Like, Kyle stops pretending to be dense. Dorit's anger, I think, has softened a little bit. But because they get to the point. And this is one thing that I think we love about Dorit this season. She's not going around in circles with her words. She's getting right to it. And I do appreciate that this season that she's doing that. And basically Kyle is remorseful, and she's like, look, I'm sorry. I did not know. And honestly, truthfully, Kyle did know that Dorit has some marriage issues at the beginning. I wish it would show everything, because remember during the reunion, Dorit lied and said everything was all good when really it wasn't. So in Kyle's defense, and I don't really want to do this, I really truly believe Kyle did not know what degree of how bad things were between Dorit and PK, because they weren't really in a good place for her to know that. because, other than what Dorit told her at the beginning of last season, and that was pretty much it. And also, too, Kyle is very self-absorbed, so she was pretty much probably dealing with her own stuff to not really be able to check in with Dorit, to be honest. But Kyle's like, look, I realize my error. I'm trying to figure things out. She does apologize. She's like, if you need me to not talk to PK for me to, for us to move forward, that's a non-issue. I will definitely not talk to him. Now, so they finally do squash it, which I'm glad, because I'm kind of sick of this. I'm sick of this plot, to be honest with you. So I'm glad they squash it. And then while this is happening, we have Bose catching Garcelle up about what was said about how the kids now know about PK and Dorit's like divorce. And Garcelle opens up and she's like, it's tough when that happens. And she was talking about, she was sharing her experience of how it was when Jax found out. And, they're kind of bonding over that. And then Sun does kind of show up afterwards. So then after that, then Dorit and Kyle, they do come back to the rest of the group and they have dinner. The dinner looked good, by the way. And in the confessional, Erica's the rest of us. She's like, look, I'm sick of the drama between them two. I want them to resolve it. Hopefully they squashed it. And I think they did. So then from there, Garcelle's like, let's play some games. And they do play some games. And I think one of the questions is like, what is an awkward thing you could say to a waiter during a date? When you off work? I cackle because I feel like I've done that before. Quiet is kept. Hey, when the date isn't working, sometimes you need a plan B. Anyway, and then from there, they kind of talk about, so what would you do for like $1 million? And they're like, $1 million is a lot of money anymore, which they're not wrong. It really isn't, especially compared with when it comes to these women. And so they're like, well, and then basically Bose is like, what about 20 million? And both Garcelle and Erica's like, child, we've done stuff for less. Oh, I love it when Garcelle and Erica are kind of in their raunchy horniness, because it just cracks me up. Them two are, I feel like they'll be so much fun to party with and hang out with. But anyway, so then from there, the conversation about love, and we know that Erica's never been in love before. And side note, I forgot to mention in the episode. So while they're at dinner and they're talking about love, Jennifer Tilly does open up about how she was in love. She's in love with her boyfriend now, but she was also in love with her ex-husband. And then she shares more about how she's really, really blessed because of him, because who he is and everything, and how she just has a great privileged life because of him, and she's still forever thankful of him. So I just kind of wanted to share that too. I almost forgot. Side note, also one last thing. I am watching the after show, but I'm not including that in this review. I know sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I just want to knock these out and be done. Anyway, we find out that Bose is kind of the opposite. She loves love. She's one of those people who just loves the idea of love. And child, me and you both. I'm kind of now my Erica Jane era these days, but yeah, for a long time, I've loved the idea of love as well. Yeah, I'm kind of done with that these days, though. But then, basically, this was like the first time where they didn't really have too much conflict. So this was a cute episode because it ends with the ladies trying to light up the lanterns, but it's a windy day. And child, it did not go according to plan. It was kind of comedic towards the end. The lanterns were like flying everywhere, and then they saw a dead bird and they scattered. It was cute. It was a very, very cute episode. But anyway, that does conclude the episode for today. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and I will see you next time. Bye.